It's hour 2 of the game after work with Mitch Fortner, Troy Coverdale, David G., and Owen Burke. Not long from now, 2 tickets to K-State men's hoops against KU on Monday. Big Monday, Sunflower Showdown, Bramlage Coliseum. A chance to win those tickets. If you're the lucky caller that Owen happens to pick up on, you get a chance to play some trivia to win some tickets.
Let's do it.
Of course, when we get there, I'll explain all the rules, and we'll get our callers. And I've told Owen, get us a backup caller just in case our first caller doesn't win. Because it's not going to be one of those, oh, you got close, but I'm just going to give you the tickets anyway. No, it's not going to be like that. You have to win by the rules that I'm going to lay out.
And it's not going to be like, who's the head coach of the K-State Wildcats? It ain't going to be none of that. Come on.
Need you to name me the leading Kansas State rebounder from 1977 to 79.
Ed Neely. That's too easy. That's too easy.
I have no way to fact check that, but props to you for just pulling a name like that.
No, I think he was a few years before 78.
He was,
79.
yeah.
It'd be.
Now you sent Mitch looking.
Well, wasn't Ed Neely, wasn't that Tex Winter days?
Yeah, it was in the 60s or something. Yeah.
Neely? Early 70s.
Was it early 70s? Okay.
It's close.
Well, yeah.
It's close.
I have faith. Whoever the first caller is going to get it. I don't think we're going to need the backup caller, but I'll have him ready just in case.
And if 2 people lose,
then Dave's going. So,
well, I didn't prepare that many trivia questions, so we'll have to go to tomorrow. And since I'll be heading to Topeka, it'll be Troy having to find a couple of winners. So
nice.
But we'll play roughly here in about 15 minutes as we'll kick that off. So you might as well just stick by your radio. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you're listening live as well, so you don't have to that online delay. It's going to be a little bit tougher to call in at the right time. So, but we'll get to that here in just a little bit.
Ed Neely graduated in 82, so that, yeah.
So Deech was kind of close.
Dude.
That's...
Woof.
Whoa.
Well, look here. I mean, I was born in 90. I was way into K-State women's basketball before. I am no historian when it comes to K-State hoops.
Dude, I was pretty close. 78, 79 would have been like his freshman year.
You might have been right. I think if 2 people fail, Dave's going. It sounds
I'm
like.
definitely going.
All right, what was the question again?
I think I said I just picked it off the top of my head. I think it was like leading rebounder from 77 to 79.
Yeah, that's what you said.
All right, let's get on that. Find that out. Who was the leading rebounder? And look up K-State men's basketball 19 whatever the years were.
I'm on Sports Reference, so I'm looking.
Okay. I'm sure we can figure that out. Kind of quickly, actually. You'd be surprised what stats you can still find.
For sure.
Like, you could go back a ways.
I am shocked, though, that back in the day they didn't, like, a block wasn't a stat. It's like, come on, man. Are you kidding? People have been getting blocked since the time the game invented, man. Come on. But they didn't do that until 70-something, I think.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy. What?
Well, the next game for the Cats is against Oklahoma State on Saturday, which tips off at 1 o'clock. Pregame starts at noon here on K-Man.
Noon!
Anything yet, Troy?
Oh, yeah. Looking at Steve Stolder's numbers.
Man, we're really digging.
Averaged 5.9 for his career, but 7.4 rebounds per game in 77-78. And the 78-79 season was just under 7 at 6.7.
And he averaged 5-something?
In his career.
So it must have...
So as a freshman...
First couple of years,
was only saw action 1 game in his freshman year, 16 in his sophomore year.
Back in those days, you have to work your way up on the roster.
That's right.
Darn straight.
We ain't playing some freshman just because he can rebound.
So we've heard the record thrown out there a couple of times this week from... head coach Jerome Tang. And let's see if I have the clip here. I believe this is the right clip, which talking about, the season, not getting away from them, and now there's kind of a goal set on what record. It's like a magic number, what record to get to deserve to be in the NCAA tournament.
We're 4-4 in the best league in America. All right, and I've said from the very beginning of the year, like this whole thing, like you get 9 wins in this league, you go into the NCAA tournament. Nothing has changed for us, right? It's just the order in which things happen. Sometimes people make a bigger deal out of it than needs to be.
Yeah, probably. But it got me brainstorming today. I got to thinking about it. I was like, I have the schedule right there on the wall of the office. 10 games left in Big 12 play. You're 4-4. K-State, can they finish 5-5? Is this doable? Well, let's take a look at the schedule. Up next, at Oklahoma State, you have KU at home on Monday. Saturday at BYU. Home then against TCU. Back on the road at Texas for a big Monday, so a quick turnaround there. Back-to-back home games, BYU, West Virginia. Cincinnati, KU back-to-back on the road. And then you wrap up with Senior Day in Bramlage. March 9th is the regular season finale against Iowa State. So you have teams all over the leaderboard still left to play in the Big 12. You'll play Texas for the first time in Texas. I mean, they're 3-4 right now in the Big 12. Not exactly looking the best in road games. I like that K-State still has it home and home with BYU. I think it's going to be an interesting road trip on February 10th to Provo and play in that environment. And then you will host BYU, who I think are frauds. Cincinnati could be a tough road trip. Right now, not even thinking about a W in Lawrence. Iowa State, you really want one back against them, but it won't be easy. And then, by the way, this week, Oklahoma State, you're home against KU, who KU can't win on the road in Big 12 play. Oklahoma State is without Bryce Thompson. At home against TCU feels like a coin flip. Feels like a coin flip. And then I think I threw out West Virginia, which should be a win. It should be a win, but they're getting Jesse Edwards back. I think he is back now. So now they're tougher. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a better team that comes into town that K-State saw a couple of weeks ago. You got something, Owen?
No, I mean, I've got the numbers ready whenever you want to come back to it. So about Ed Nealy.
Okay, go ahead.
Dave was right. He was the leading rebounder those 3 years. Ronaldo Blackman comes close because he played all 3 years, but Nealy eclipses it. He only played 2 of those 3 years, but 502 rebounds in those 2 years. Got it done. So technically, Dave was right. So
I get the tickets.
Man, maybe we should. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe you should be a lifeline or something in the game.
Yeah,
listen, no lifeline, no nothing.
Do you have your computer,
Sarah? Nope.
No computer here.
Sarah, baby, we're going to the game.
So we're gonna have to call Grandma if we gotta get another
Grandma.
babysitter.
Yeah, Grandma, you need to get down here quick.
Well, unfortunately, by giving employees a ticket, that is a $5,000 fine, according to the FCC. Now that we've already talked about a giveaway on the air.
Oh God. Care of Troy Coverdale, Brandon Peoples.
So yeah. So Owen, we need you to cut that out of the podcast. Let's pretend this. No. We're still giving away the tickets at $525. Do I think K-State gets to 5-5 the rest of the way? You know, it's kind of hard to separate, right? Your heart from your gut, from your mind, you know? Because it's the Big 12. Anybody can literally beat anybody any day for the most part. No way Oklahoma State beats KU. It doesn't matter when that game's going to be played. Doesn't matter if it's in Stillwater like it was a few weeks ago or if it's in the Big 12 tournament. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And Bryce Thompson is now out for most likely the rest of the season. K-State should get that win. I think it is absolutely doable. But I'm also thinking how deep this conference is. And the challenges that a BYU, a Cincinnati, a UCF has delivered. You know, I don't know if it's necessarily NCAA tournament good. We'll see. It's kind of hard to tell right now. I think you can get into the NCAA tournament this year with an 8-10 record. I'm not sure 9-9 is absolutely necessary, but I hear Jerome Tang when he says you deserve to be in and you're almost guaranteed to be in. I think you are guaranteed this year, no doubt. If you are 9-9 in the best conference in America, you are in the NCAA tournament. Is it 100% necessary? If you're K-State, it may be, because right now, and it's hard to guarantee this, but right now, K-State only has one good win on the resume. And it's unfortunate that, like the win over Providence is still kind of clinging on to a quad 2 victory. And then you also had a couple of losses that, like Miami and USC, that at first Quad ones, don't worry about it. Well, now they're stinking, and now the losses are worse. So it's now a blemish on your resume instead of like, well, it's quad win, just forget about it. That's tough. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, K-State doesn't have enough quad ones. They've played now 4 times, and they've only got the 1 win. So there's only one good part of K-State's resume. With probably needing to get to 9-9, at least these are quad 1 games mostly the rest of the way, other than Oklahoma State and West Virginia won't be a quad 1 game. You're hosting them. So you have 2 games that you should win and you definitely have to win. The rest are quad 1s. But do I think K-State will get to 9-9 right now? Honestly, I'm not feeling it right now. And I think most would understand why. Mm-hmm. This, to me, right now, honestly, is not an NCAA tournament team. Mm-mm. They do feel destined to be NIT, but I'm not counting them out. And 2 wins in 3 days is going to turn some minds around. Mm-hmm. It can happen quickly. But right now, I can't say that. I have to go with what we know right now. And what we know right now is they got a lot to figure out offensively, and there's not a ton of momentum. And I don't know, does a win against Oklahoma State give you enough momentum to play for the KU game and go win that game? But I'll say this, worse K-State teams have beat better KU teams.
Sure.
That is an absolute fact. So rivalry, emotions, won't count the Cats out in a game like that, even if they've lost 3 in a row. But I don't expect a loss at Oklahoma State, and I do expect a competitive game against the Kansas Jayhawks, with KU struggling on the road this year. But there's still some tough road trips, and it's tough for this team to win on the road.
And if there's ever a team that would get to 9-9 and get the door shut in their face on the NCAA tournament, it will be K-State. Trust me. I don't think this team is in any position to say, if we get to this, we're guaranteed anything. And I think they need to not look at the schedule and go 1 game at a time. These guys, if they start, I know it's a motivational tool that he's using right now. He's like, come on, guys, if we do this, if we close it out, we go 9-9, we're guaranteed. It almost feels like Major League, where they have the gals, the thing, and they're taking a piece of the clothes off every win, and they're like, yeah, guys, we did it. But in the end, it won't matter, because I don't think this team passes the eye test when the NCAA tournament, when the committee's looking at the teams, the 4 first out and all that stuff. When they look, they're going to go, boy, when they are bad, they sure are bad.
The month of February has to be above and beyond, especially given what we have seen out of this team in the last 3 games specifically. The fact that they get off to bad starts, the Houston game and the other evening, put those 2 together and explain how an NCAA committee person is going to look at that and say, yes, that's a team that should be in our field. No, they don't want that at the start of their games. They want actual competitive games. It's what makes the tournament fun. And right now, K-State isn't offering very good competition in those early stages of ball games.
I want them to shoot for a 10 and 8. That's what I shoot for double digits. You have to overshoot to get this thing into the NCAA tournament.
The flaw is what's still ahead of you in conference play.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that trip to BYU is going to be a brutal.
It's going to be a very convincing 9-9, because if you can recency bias your way in, if you have a really strong last month, I think they can work with 9-9 and get in.
If you took the Baylor game and looked at K-State right there at that point,
that's a tournament team.
That's a tournament team in their minds. That's a tournament team right there. That you're right, recency bias. Well, what happens? Everybody adjusts as the year goes on, and especially adjustments in conference play become easier and easier as you go, because you've got more and more tape as you go. And it's easier to know what's going on with each team the deeper into the season that you get. And it makes it tough to maintain. It's why it's so tough later in the season as well to be able to try to put together an unbeaten season, just as an example. The deeper you get into the schedule, the more people recognize and have seen what you have, and they game plan accordingly for it. And you have to be able to adjust on the fly and make those changes. Right now, with the limited scoring that this team has, making those adjustments on the fly is going to be a huge challenge. What can you get? What can you come up with offensively that is going to put you in a better position at the start of games beyond the three guys that you have right now that can score? And that's part of the issue for K-State. Really, you've got three guys that can score. Everybody knows that. It's the other guys that have to step up, and it's not happening. You're at a part of the year where making adjustments is so very tough because you don't have time for practice. You have a little more time when you're in a Power 5 because of your flights and how things are structured. But in the general scheme of things, you don't have a lot of practice time. The real hardcore practice, because your guys need rest. Your guys have their classes to catch back up on after being out of town for a day and a half. All of the things that factor in. You don't want to overwork them in practice. So what adjustments can you make? They have to be very easy to make, but yet also very quick in terms of you have to make them quick and hope that everybody buys into them immediately and that they're effective. Well, right now, the biggest adjustment that this team could make is going to be the one that would be the toughest, and that is scrapping the 5-out offense. And at this point of the year, February, that is a huge challenge to try to scrap basically everything that you've worked on since August in terms of what you wanted this offense to be.
And I think, like, I really respect your opinion on college basketball when it comes to, I think you've said it, but I think I've heard other people say it too, but I remember you saying, like, at the end of January, you are who you are.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, and, like, because now we're heading into February short month, and then it's March. Like,
yes.
You know, so you are who you are, and you're right. Like, coming in and going, all right, fellas, we're done with that. Let's move. We're going to try something else. I think it would be too much for a young team, especially.
Well, this is why I said back at Christmas break that was the point where you make your biggest changes.
Sure.
If you have to make them at that point, it's your best last chance because that's the only space you've got before the conference season begins. Mm-hmm. Once the conference season begins, it is more about time management and making sure that guys are rested and healthy and keeping up with their classes and all of the things that go into it. It's more about little things when you get in the conference season because the big things, you better have had them taken care of long before you got to that point. And when you reach February, yeah, this is the stretch drive, and you're right. You know, people know who you are. The scouting reports know who you are, and you know, if you try to throw something new in there, it better be quick and it better be easy because it's not going to get a lot of practice time.
The KSU_fan on Twitter who writes for KSO put out some pretty interesting numbers about how, you know, in these last three games where you've met some really good defensive teams, Oklahoma was selling out on the half-court defense and putting pressure on the ball right away, double teams on Tyler Perry, about how where really K-State struggled. To me, I can't stand these slow starts. I mean, you just put yourself in a hole early. Last three games in the first 5+ minutes, you've been outscored 31-4, but also just the lack of touches inside. K-State's shots inside have really dropped off, and there's just not much happening inside the paint recently.
Right.
So K-State's having to settle for a lot more long-distance shots, and obviously the more of those shots you take, you're not going to have most likely the strongest shooting numbers.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder to score.
Right.
Yes.
And as someone, like, I will never claim to be some expert on the game, but we are relying more on long-distance jump shots but we're not passing the ball a lot. It's a lot of like kind of jacking them up. I'm sorry. And I'm sure like someone who's as talented as K-State _ fan, his Twitter is amazing. Shout out to him. But he might have different numbers, but from the casual fan, just me watching the game, it's like, okay, we're obviously not putting it in the paint at all. We need to pass the ball around a lot better and try to get some guys some open looks, because sometimes it feels like guys are dribbling around and then just jacking up a three. And it's just not going to get done that way. Nobody's that talented. You know what I mean? Like, nobody is.
You bring up a great point, and you mentioned, Mitch, the fact that Tyler Perry is facing the double teams so much. Part of the flaw with that is people have also learned that the ball gets sticky in Tyler Perry's hands, meaning the offense doesn't flow through Tyler Perry the way that we got used to an offense flowing last year. Marquise was good about being able to recognize where the play needed to move and get motion started.
Yeah.
That's not happening right now. And I don't say that to be a huge knock on Tyler Perry, because he's being asked to play in a different role than what he has played in the past, in being a point guard first in most cases. But because it gets sticky, that automatically draws out those two defenders to him. And he hasn't found a way to get the right pass made out of that double team just yet. And his teammates haven't found the way to get that motion going once they receive the ball.
Well, and it's just, I mean, all those early ball screens, Tyler would just come over to the right side of the floor, and it's just an easy double team when they have the sideline right there to use as well.
Right.
Correct.
And so Tyler's stuck for 5 seconds,
Yep.
and you've wasted half of your shot clock just by trying to get off that second pass.
And it's just dribble, dribble, dribble to try and maneuver and figure out what you're up to next.
Right.
We have to take a break. When we come back, things about to take off.
Oh, God, I'm getting excited.
Because, of course, K-State's turnaround starts Saturday against Oklahoma State, and then they really turn it on against the Kansas Jayhawks on Monday, Big Monday. If you want 2 tickets, get ready to call in. As a matter of fact, Owen going to take your calls during the break because he's taking the first 2 callers to get a chance to win tickets. If the first caller doesn't win, the second caller gets a chance. So your chance to win K-State basketball tickets against KU is up next. Phone number 537-1350. Man, I feel like we're marching into battle.
We are.
Getting ready for the Jayhawks coming into town on Monday, but it's not look too far ahead. We got the Cowboys on Saturday.
Yeah.
But didn't want to wait last minute to give away these tickets, so pair of tickets about to be given away right now here on the Game for K-State KU in the Sunflower Showdown Big Monday night. And come on down, Alyssa Manhattan. You are our first contestant on some K-State basketball trivia. Alyssa, do you know K-State basketball trivia?
Hopefully.
Well, we're about to find out now. Let's go over some ground rules. We do have Rod from Manhattan standing by. So, Alyssa, if you blow it, Rod's going to get a chance here. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to give you 3 trivia questions. You need to get 2 right to win the tickets. And it's going to be a 50-50 chance on every question. So it's like if you've been to games, they do these trivia games at the games, and you get a selection of, to answer the question, you get 2 choices, A or B.
Okay.
So it's going to be like that, Alyssa. So before we play, DG, what can Alyssa win?
She can win 2 tickets to see Kansas State Wildcats take on KU at Bramlage Coliseum. These are regular size tickets, white and purple trim, $0. Well, admit one, no refunds, no exchanges. She's the lucky gal. She's going to get 2 of these bad boys, and we're ready to roll.
All right, there we go. Alyssa, are you ready to play?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Your first question. Jerome Tang is undefeated at home against KU all time. Is that true or false?
True.
That's correct.
Wow.
1 for 1. Alyssa, that pause had me worried slightly.
She's thinking,
I was
dude.
trying to figure out if there's a trick there.
No, Jerome Tang is undefeated, believe it or not, all time at home against KU as head coach of K-State. Maybe should have specified there a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
Wasn't
that's what I was trying to figure out, if this was where we're... Yeah, I was that's why I was looking at the trick.
You need to be watching out for Mitch, okay? He's slippery, so watch out for him.
that win was last year in overtime, 83-82. All right, Alyssa, question number 2. We're talking K-State head coaches now, as in past head coaches. Who, during their time at K-State, had more wins against KU? Was it Frank Martin or Bruce Weber? Between those two, who had the most wins against KU, Frank Martin or Bruce Weber?
Oh, goodness.
Frank
Oh,
Martin or Bruce
so-
Weber?
I'm going to go with Bruce.
Bruce. That's correct! 2 for 2, Alyssa. Bruce Weber had 3 wins. Frank Martin had 2.
Wow. She typed that up fast on her phone.
There you
There was
go.
no Googling.
No Googling? That's
All
amazing.
right,
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Alyssa. Hey, since we have you on, you've won the tickets. You're going to the game. And we'll wrap this here in a second, but I did say you'll get 3 questions. You got your 2 right. Would you like to have a bonus question just for fun?
Might as well.
Okay. Your bonus question is another true or false. My favorite K-State basketball player of all time is Cartier Martin. My favorite K-State basketball player of all time is Cartier Martin. Is that true or false?
True.
Oh,
Good thing you got those first 2 questions right, or else that would have been tough sledding. But Alyssa, my favorite K-State basketball player of all time is Owen. Who is it?
Is it Jacob Pullen?
No.
Is it? I know who mine is.
Ed Neely.
Close.
That's a great pull.
Great rebounder.
It's got to be Kevin Durant from the left side. Michael Beasley.
No, he's the cat that just had the greatest single-season individual season of all time. Marquise Noel is my favorite K-State basketball player of all time. But
Is it
Alyssa,
because of height?
Look at Alyssa with the jab.
Alyssa.
All Kings got to hold together.
Alyssa, the short answer is yes.
Short in many ways, yes.
Very nice, Alyssa.
Well, Alyssa, how's it feel to be going to the K-State KU game?
I'm pretty pumped.
Good. Do you know who you're taking?
Probably should take my sister because she's standing right beside me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You're going to take your sister. Wink, wink, wink. If
Right.
something came up, you can't go with me. Yeah.
Well, Alyssa, again, congratulations on the tickets, and thank you for calling in. It wasn't easy. I mean, the phone lines were lighting up immediately. You snuck in there, and you were first up at the plate, and you hit a home run. So nice work, Alyssa. You are going to the K-State KU game. We'll put you on hold, so stay on the line. Owen will get your information, and congratulations, Alyssa. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
That's Alyssa from Manhattan, winner of 2 tickets.
She did amazing. And, you really have to be – you got to have nerves of steel to play Wildcat basketball ticket trivia. You know what I mean? And she hung in there. Now – Your question about your favorite player, I really liked that, dude. That was good. You have to be a fan of the show.
I made it up on the spot.
You did? Okay, good job. That was really good. I thought you were going to say something about Gilson de Jesus, but,
Well, before it was Marquise Noel, I'm probably going, and this is crazy, Jeremiah Massey.
Oh yeah. Oh, YouTube mixtape master.
Yes.
Jeremiah Massey. Man. In Europe they're like, was this guy Michael Jordan over there or something? What is going on?
A close third, Angel Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, the man, the myth, the legend.
People used to say we looked exactly alike.
You guys do look strikingly similar. Yeah.
I don't see it.
See, but when he was here, did you kind of lean into it? Like, hell yeah.
No.
That's my brother.
Well, and like I once in a while I'd like end up at the same like
Yeah.
get together
house
slash Aggieville, and I was like, who honestly thinks that we're twins?
It's a little bit. It's there. It's definitely there for sure. I would always my Jermaine Maybank was one of probably my favorite guy of all time.
Aren't you a big Dominic Sutton
Love
guy?
Dom Sutton.
That's what I thought. Speaking of K-State KU, well, yeah, he would have been. That's Beasley, right? Beasley, Henry, Walker.
Dude, that guy could dunk. So, man, he'd fly, but he'd give him an open three, and oh boy.
Yeah.
He was good. If there's like 3 defenders in his face, he was going to nail it.
All right, so that's going to wrap up the trivia. Alyssa knocked it out of the park, 2 for 2. I'm not here tomorrow, but I do have questions left over. I checked during the break.
Oh, great.
I did find 2 more tickets. Believe it or not, I actually found 2 more tickets. So I'm going to let Troy host tomorrow. Mm-hmm. He'll lead. He'll be the Bob Barker.
Yep.
We'll do this all over again.
Mm-hmm. I'm Rod Roddy.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you said Rod Roddy because he is the GOAT of game show announcing.
It's not the other guy. I don't know who the other guy is right now, but it's Rod Roddy. I'm Rod Roddy. I'm gonna
come on now.
Sparkly jacket.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's his wardrobe.
Yeah, it was on point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was cool.
Okay, so tomorrow, Troy will have more trivia. Same game, same everything. Tickets are just in a different spot. That's the only difference. It's not the same 2 tickets. All right, so I'll let Troy figure all that out tomorrow. He'll promote. He'll tell you when to be listening to call in. Let's take a break, and we'll continue on with the game next.
You get too much enjoyment out of this.
It's a great song.
It does get you in the mood to start wheeling and dealing a little bit.
Yeah. You're ready to either win a car or sell some cars.
That's a great way to put it.
I mean, when I hear this song, I just have that montage of like old Las Vegas strip lights sparkling.
Absolutely. Like driving in,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like in Vegas Vacation when the family rolls in and they're on the limo, they're going down the strip, and instead of Born to Be Alive, it's this song. Like, it works too.
Yeah, dude. This would be perfect.
Born to Be Alive. No, this is from The Price is Right. This is one of the old, like, they're going to bring out a car. They're going to give away a car. Rod, what can they win? A brand new car. Yeah. And then they crank up the song. It's a 1994 Ford Bronco.
Oh. So
Comes with a tape player and electric windows.
AM, FM radio.
All white in color.
Oh, wow. Oh, no. God. My great-grandma, she didn't know much English, but she knew Bob Barker. She'd go, Estella Bob Barker. And they watch Price is Right every day. Estella Bob Barker. Like, all right.
Oh, boy.
Even she could even understand that game, you know?
That's fantastic.
Estella Bob Barker.
I love that.
Loved. And Lawrence Welk. My great-grandparents were huge Lawrence Welk.
I don't know who Lawrence Welk is.
Oh, he had a show on like PBS, and it's like one of those variety shows. He was a big band leader guy. It was really lame. It was so lame.
So I want to point this out because the first time that Mitch played that this afternoon, he specifically asked, recognize this? And immediately, what did I say?
Let's Make a Deal.
No. I said Family Feud.
Family Feud.
We're both right.
Was it on Family Feud?
That was the one that they went ahead and utilized for Family Feud.
But I remember, okay.
I have confirmation.
I have watched a ton of old game show reruns of Match Game and a Family Feud. And there was, late 70s when Family Feud did come around and Richard Dawson basically left Match Game to host Family Feud. I remember the Family Feud theme was more hokey. It was more like country barnyard sounding,
Now,
It's
it's kind of had a country barnyard kind of action going on in the
Nashville brass style is it what they termed it here? Yes.
Nashville
Okay.
Brass.
How long did they use that on Family Feud?
Oh, throughout the Richard Dawson years.
quite a few years.
Absolutely,
Well,
yeah.
but I think so. The current theme they use for Family Feud is more of an old school.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old school theme, but it's more like modernized sounding. I guess does that make sense?
Here's the deal: the guy that wrote the vast majority of the Price is Right music was a guy by the name of Walt Levinsky. Over 500 different music cues
Good for him.
over the years that he wrote for the show. And that one was titled The Feud. And so, because they're produced by the same company, they went ahead and
Like,
moved.
just use
Yeah,
that.
we'll just move that over.
Where's Levinsky's thing? The Feud? Yeah, pop it in there. This Price is Right show is going to go off the air anyway, anytime soon.
That needs to be the Grammys are this weekend, right? That needs
Yeah.
to be a Grammy. I know we're not making a ton of new game shows all the time, but like wrestling themes, that should be
Yeah.
that should
The
be a
Walt
Grammy
Levinsky-
category.
The Walt Levinsky, what would be like the career thing? They could
Lifetime Achievement.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Put that guy in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Play Levinsky 497.
And here's the way that I learned all of this: the Price is Right wiki. I mean, honestly, that's how you know it's accurate.
Well, The Price is Right. The Price is Right had,
yeah.
when it comes to music that they used, by far the deepest catalog.
Yeah, deep
because
cuts.
they probably had 6 or 7 different songs for a car. They had 5 or 6 different for your dinette set, bedroom set. Depending on a trip, they had 5 different songs for a trip.
The trips, man.
And like the showcase songs were different. They had a ton of music for The Price is Right.
Showcase Showdown, baby. Man.
Well, my favorite. So I pulled it here. I barely got to play it, but like the Come On Down.
Oh.
I love it when it kicks back in after all this. I'll get to it here in a second. It's my favorite part of any song about Price is Right. That I'm ready to sprint down to Contestants Row.
It's all props to the
Like
GOAT.
they've-
Walt Levinsky's did all of them.
They're like, this person hasn't made it down there yet? How far away were
I'm
they?
high-fiving everybody.
Yeah, high-fiving everybody. Fell down a couple times.
I got there early enough to get front row, and then I got to sprint up to the top and get some high fives, and then I'm high stepping back down there. I'm doing my touchdown dance before I get on stage.
Yeah.
Oh
Hasn't
boy!
played or spun the wheel yet. He's celebrating. I love it.
All right, hey, we're running short on time, so Owen, you get us out when we need to get out. I think you know what that means. Let's go ahead and just get right now to a little Ask Us Anything. We're running short on time.
Well, let me tell you, I got an Ask Us Anything that's going to
Hold on
really...
a second.
Oh.
There it is. Okay.
It's going to really knock your socks off. When you were a teenager, what was popular to hate on? For me, it was boy bands. Boy bands were really cool for a hot minute, and then they became not so cool. And so people really went after them, man. Really went after them.
New Coke.
Oh, man, the videos of the interviewing people, really not happy.
No.
Insanely angry about that.
See, I'm like, Clay Center was weird. Like, there are things that weren't very popular, but like people were into, but wouldn't admit it. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like the band Korn is a great. I know. I got into it because a lot of people at school got into them, but they weren't like publicly talking about it. Oh, I'm really into new metal and stuff. And
Dang.
it was
hate
kind of
on
weird.
metal.
I don't know. There wasn't like I mean, obviously, it was more college, but Justin Bieber
Oh,
was a
yeah.
pretty big. Like, he was the one that I can remember at first. Like, the first that came around, like, people were openly just rooting against him.
Oh, yeah.
Was hoping he would screw up.
Yeah.
Was hoping he would get in some kind of trouble just because you like, oh, I knew it was gonna come. He got famous too early. He was too young.
Baby.
His music was trash. Couldn't wait for him to fail.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the answer. Oween?
Everybody hated. Everybody hates Nickelback. I never understood it.
That would have been your time. Yeah, that would have been your time.
I love Nickelback. It's kind of that style of music is what I grew up around, like Puddle of Mud, Nickelback, Three Doors Down. Like that was the type of music my mom listened to. Big fan.
It's called butt rock.
I'm okay with it.
No, it's called butt
Nate,
rock.
you call it whatever you want to. I'm playing it on the way
lean
home.
into it. Lean into that.
Most butt rock I'm actually a fan of. I wasn't really ever into Nickelback. I'm not a hater on them as much as I used to be. I respect their work and how they've kind of made a comeback. There is one band I cannot stand more than anything else. Imagine Dragons.
Ooh.
Horrible.
How are you- As a PA announcer, how can you say that? You know how many Imagine Dragon songs play at pregame of football games?
Yeah, zero. Zero.
The look on
Zero?
his face.
Zero.
and your man.
Have you been to a K-State game?
Fair.
Zero Imagine Dragons. Bill Snyder would have never touched Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, he'd have been like,
Oh, no way, no how.
Definitely not
Van
that, no.
Halen. Oh my God! I remember.
Night
Not enough
Ranger, baby.
synthesizer in this. All right, do we got to go? We're good? I don't know.
We got probably another 30 seconds or so.
50. Hey,
Another
wh-
45 seconds.
I wanted to
Be a
ask.
quick one.
I wanted to ask this question. Oh, I already did. I asked about DePaul basketball.
Ah,
yesterday.
yes.
Dang it, man! I got nothing. I thought I only had time for one, so I had.
Well, we can just gradually then
yeah.
exit.
Fade
And
into
call
the-
it a day.
Yeah, fade
Yeah.
into the background.
Stage left. Remember to spay and neuter your pets.
Hey, you got real close.
Leave it at
there.
that. That's it.
close.
Show's over.
And we're done.
Go Cats.